Today I'll teach you how to sew a super soft and cozy mermaid tail blanket. It's designed to be used like a sleeping bag and pulled up to the hips. The measurements provided work best for children ages 5 through 12. I recommend using 60-inch fleece or minky, so batting is unnecessary. Start by laying out a piece of wrapping paper or taped newspapers that are the same dimensions as your outer tail fabric would be if folded in half. This should be about 24 by 60 inches. Then, fold the paper in half lengthwise so it's about 12 by 60 inches long. Drawing our pattern on only one half will allow us to cut it out symmetrically. I've included a printable pattern for the fin. Print and cut out Then trace this piece at the bottom of your paper pattern on the fold so you know how much fabric you have left to create the tail. Make the bottom of the tail the same width as the top of the fin. Draw a diagonal line from the bottom of the tail to the outer edge of the paper, then curve inward at top. Unfolded, my tail piece is 20 inches across at top. Fold your outer tail fabric in half, right sides together. Pin the tail piece through both layers and cut out, creating two tail pieces. Do not cut a fin out of this material. Remove the pattern, then repin the two fabrics right sides together. Fold the lining fabric right sides together and pin both the tail and fin pieces to the fabric. You'll also need to cut one band piece along the fold. This piece needs to measure 4 by 39 inches. I realize it says 4 by 40 in the photo, but I ended up trimming it down later, so 4 by 39 is a more accurate measurement. When sewing with fleece or minky, I recommend using a jersey needle. Size 90 works great. If you happen to own a walking foot, it makes sewing thick or slippery fabrics much easier. However, it's not required. We'll be using a zigzag stitch, which is preferred for stretch fabrics, unless otherwise noted. A piece of washi tape at the 1-inch seam mark on your machine will make it simpler to achieve consistent seams. Sew the outer tail fabrics together on the long sides, leaving both the top and bottom open. Sew with a 1-inch seam. Minky is notoriously slippery to sew with, and even experienced sewers may find themselves frustrated when the fabric shifts and the edges don't align perfectly. However, 1-inch seams are generous enough to account for shifting, so don't stress if your edges don't stay perfectly matched as you sew. Turn the outer tail fabric right side out. Repeat with the lining tail fabric, but do not turn. Slide the lining fabric piece inside the outer tail piece. Pinch the two fabrics at top and shake so the pieces align. As this was my first attempt at sewing a mermaid tail blanket, I did the next part a bit backwards, sewing it together before hemming. However, I'm going to tell you the simplest way to do it. First, fold under the long edges of the band piece 1/2 inch and hem with a straight stitch. Then fold the band piece in half, right sides together, so the short ends meet. Please ignore the fact that my edges are unhemmed in this clip. Yours should be hemmed. Sew the short ends together with a zigzag stitch and a 1-inch seam, creating a loop. Fold the band in half lengthwise, wrong sides together. Sandwich the two tail fabrics in between the folded band fabric and pin all the way around. Top stitch along your previous row of stitches. Sew the fin pieces right sides together with a 1-inch seam. Leave the top open. Clip and notch your seam allowances, being careful not to cut your stitches. Turn right side out. Slide the tail inside of the fin piece. Turn down the raw edges of fin piece 1/2 inch and pin. Sew straight across the folded portion of the fin piece, securing all the layers. I used chalk to sketch out some lines on the fin. These add a bit of texture and dimension. I found it's easiest to start sewing at the bottom of the fin and work towards the top. If you'd like, you could also top stitch around the entire edge of the fin piece with a 1/4 inch seam. This is a super cozy blanket. To print the free pattern for the fin piece, please visit my website, madebymarzipan.com, and search for Mermaid Blanket.
Try this at home.